Well, if the merit is signless, how come we have merit?
If the merit is signless,
Yeah.
we have a signless merit. Signless. Maybe he's not getting the signless bit properly. Signless, truly existing, solidly existing sort of sign. Any more?
My father is always has attachment to the world. How can I tell him to detach from the world and want to be reborn in the Sukhavati?
His father asked him to do what?
No. No. His father has a great attachment to the world.
Pardon?
His father has a great attachment to the world. So he said, how to tell his father to detach from the world?
That's we have to be patient, and we have to not only our father but our mothers, and not only this father and this mother, but many fathers and mothers of many different lifetimes. We have to make them understand that the worldly life has no essence. That's a bodhisattva's task. You can't expect that this will change overnight, though. I'm getting this sense that, when he's talking about detach from the world, detaching from the world means a lot. It can be many different things. I think both in India and China, the culture of mendicant, homeless, like wanderer, is very much appreciated. I mean, in India, even today, like sadhus roam around and they are very much respected. So what I'm saying is that detachment immediately is understood for the general people, like giving up your job, giving up your family and going to a cave. It looks like that's how people automatically translate the renunciation. But I don't think the detachment has to be only that. That's just one way. It's just more popular than the others. Ashoka, for me, is a great renunciant. But he had his kingdom and everything. I think it is the motivation. I think you can be a politician, you can be a, investor, you can be a scientist, you can be an economist, whatever, and do it for the right cause. Okay. That's a bodhisattva's practice, isn't it? I don't think we'll finish all the questions, but we'll try a few.
How can we keep our discipline in the sense of what we talk in this sutra?
Pardon? How can we
keep our discipline, but in the sense of what we talk in this sutra?
By not falling into extremes. That's a good question. If that is, by not falling into extreme. That is the highest discipline here. By not smoking, and by not having the pride of not smoking. Things like that. By not lying, and by not having this extreme of a non-liar. This extreme pride of being not liar. Even in the mundane sense, the discipline can be a big pride booster. It can boost your pride. This we have seen among the Buddhist circle a lot. Many Buddhists take pride with their discipline. And they are very condescending, and they look down at those who does not hold such kind of discipline. They exhibit their discipline. They scandalize those who are not disciplined. They need to read Vajrachelika.
Well, if I practice according to Tao Te Ching, can I reach enlightenment? If I practice as Tao Te Ching, can I reach enlightenment?
I don't know.
Rinpoche 说他不知道。In many sutras, before Buddha gave teaching, Buddha has some signs of giving out the life come out from certain part of his body. Why not in this sutra?
It may have happened. It may have happened.
Vajrayana is talking about the importance of the guru, but if I do not have this chance to meet a guru, can I take the sutra as my guru?
The earlier question.
Sorry.
There's something, the Buddha has so many different activities: the body, speech, mind, quality, and activity. Manifestations, many manifestations. Yeah. There is even a sutra of Chumtru in the Miraculous Sutra, where there is a very detailed descriptions about how Buddha manifests, magic and power, like all kinds of, magical power. I think it's called Miraculous Sutra, Sutra of Miraculous. But there's something that if you read the Buddhist sutras, you have to notice this. Like many religion, when they talk about their God or their masters, they really emphasize a lot about how such and such God or master, when they walk here and there, they have opened the blind eyes and, emphasizes so much on the visible, obvious sort of power. Not so much in Buddhism. In Buddhism, when we praise the Buddha of all his activity, body, of all his quality, like body, speech, mind, quality and activity, the most number that we praise is about his speech, the truth that he spoke. Because that is the most powerful. Because that really can help forever. When the monks asked the Buddha, as Buddha was about to pass into the parinirvana in Kushtanagar, when the monks asked him, what should they do? What should they do after he passed away? Buddha insists the monks to tell the world that Shakyamuni Buddha taught. That's so important message. He never insisted, you should tell the monks, you should tell the world that Shakyamuni Buddha performed magic. This is a very special thing. Okay, one more question.
Well, the Vajrayana thinks guru is very important, but if I have no chance to meet a guru, can I use a sutra like this sutra as my guru?
If you're a Mahayana practitioner, definitely reading the sutra is beneficial. Of course, if you want to study this, it's good to study under someone who could give you the right information. In the Mahayana, master is a master. In the Vajrayana, master is not actually a master as in the Mahayana. The master is actually the path. So, in the Vajrayana, the Vajra master is almost inevitable. You have to hire someone to deconstruct you, basically. Okay, let's go back to the sutra. Again, Buddha asks Subhuti, does an arhat think, I have now attained the full enlightenment, the arhatship? Now that's equal to the enlightenment, the Buddhahood, okay? Subhuti said, no, because there is no such thing as an arhatship separately or independently existing. Because you see, if an arhat thinks that I have attained the arhatship, then this arhat has the notion of self, a person, a being, lifespan, and all of that reference. See, arhat means the destroyer of the enemy, of the foe. In this case, the enemy or the foe is the emotion. If there is still a notion of a person, a being, such as I, a lifespan, then that is the very cause of the emotion. So therefore, arhat cannot think that I have attained the arhat, because arhat has destroyed that notion of I. Okay. Almost as a challenge to this, Buddha asked Subhuti. Buddha asked, well, in the end, a long time ago, when Buddha Shakyamuni, Tathagata, was practicing under Buddha Dipamkara, what did he attain then? Subhuti said, nothing. In the past, when Tathagata was practicing under the Buddha Master Dipamkara, Tathagata he did not attain anything. It has so many different ways of explaining this one. One way, there is no independently or externally existing Buddha quality that you have to sort of establish or you have to invoke from your master. In the second sense, all the Buddha qualities that you think that you are trying to attain, you already have it. Every bit of them, 32 major marks, 80 minor marks, all of them, you have it. You don't have to attain anything. Therefore, you cannot attain anything by practicing under a master. So this works with the Vajrayana very well. You remember I was telling earlier, just before, you have to hire someone to deconstruct you. Master does not insert the Buddha quality. Master deconstruct the elephants. It's very painful though. It's really painful. Because you kind of, we are all a bit of a masochist. So we like these elephants. Our path is elimination of defilements. Remember? Okay. The next question. This will be very intriguing to those who follow the Pure Land. See, bodhisattvas, when they are on the path, they do a lot of aspiration. They do a lot of prayers and say that when I become a Buddha, may I gain a such and such beautiful Buddha field so that I can bring the sentient being there, or so that sentient beings can be reborn there and then attain enlightenment and all that. So, Buddha asked Subhuti, when the bodhisattva does prayers, does a bodhisattva create a serene and a beautiful Buddha field? Subhuti said, no. See, when we talk about a Buddha field, immediately we are talking about center and boundary. We are talking about directions. When you talk about boundary, we are talking about fencing. Then we are talking about real estate. Real estate, yeah. Land, yeah, real estate. Then we are talking about lots of problems. When the bodhisattvas construct the Buddha field, what do? They construct directionless, boundless, centerless field. Everywhere is the Buddha field. There is no end. And there is no such thing as one part of the Buddha field is the real Buddha field there, and the others are not real. Again, this really what complements very well with the Vajrayana concept of mandala. Even the mandala is usually symbolized by the circle. Circle has no beginning and end. So of course, when we talk about a pure land, we always think about, lotus and swimming pools, and we are talking about, Amitabha Rams. Of course, this is all in a small human mind. We are visualizing this. And imagine all those Pure Land descriptions, in the Amitabha Ram. If you have it every day, let's say, for 100 years, don't you think you'll get bored? I'm saying this as a human, we human beings, we don't know what we want. Today, what we call beautiful and serene and comfortable is not necessarily serene and beautiful and comfortable tomorrow. So what kind of pure land are we demanding? In fact, all the object that we perceive through our dualistic mind, including the Pure Land, is very limited. So, Shakyamuni is stressing. That's why all the Buddhas and all the Bodhisattva, Mahasattvas, they must, you see now this is connecting with the first ever remark that Shakyamuni gave right in the beginning, what kind of motivation the Bodhisattva should have. Because of all we have discussed, therefore, Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, they should have the determination, or they should generate the bodhicitta with non-abiding attitude, non-abiding on form such as Buddha's signs, non-abiding on sound such as Buddha's teachings, taste, feeling, objects, without abiding in our mind. A bodhisattva, Mahasattva must, bodhisattva and Mahasattvas, without abiding their mind, without dwelling on any of these, they should generate the bodhicitta. And here Buddha is asking for a metaphor. He's asking, Subhuti, if there is someone whose body is as big as Mount Meru, is it considered big? He said, yes. Subhuti said, yes, that's very large. Why? Because Tathagata says it is not a large body, and that's why it is known as the large body. Again, Buddha, with another analogy, if there is many Ganga river, as the number of grains of sand in the Gangas, would you say that the number of the grains of the sand in all this Ganga river is many? And then Subhuti again answered yes, in the similar manner as before. Now, Shakyamuni Buddha is going back to the relative sort of practice. He asks, if a son and the daughter or the son of the noble family, filling the 3,000 universe with 7 kinds of, precious jewels, as many grains of sand in all the Ganga rivers, and offer them generously to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, does it have a lot of merit? Does it have a lot of virtues? And Shakyamuni, Subhuti said, yes, there's so much, countless, infinite. Buddha is saying, well, if a daughter or a son of the noble family knows how to accept, practice and explain this sutra, not entirely, not even entirely, but even one shloka of this sutra, the virtuous merit and the happiness is far greater than the earlier act. And then furthermore, Buddha said, Subhuti, a plot of land or a stage like this, where this sutra is proclaimed, discussed, even one shloka, this plot of land or the piece of space, this space will be an object of veneration by gods, men, asuras. And this plot of land, this space, wherever it is, should be regarded as the sacred land. And even more, a person who practices, recites this sutra, even one shloka, Subhuti, you must know that this person has attained something rare and profound. And wherever this sutra is kept, one must realize, whoever is keeping this sutra with them, one must realize the presence of the Buddha is there. And the holder of this sutra must be considered as an heir of the Buddha, or the Buddha's great disciple. So since we hear all this incredible benefit, and to make the weekend worthwhile, I guess we can't read all the sutra, but we will read it up to here, and the rest, if you're not too lazy, you can read it at home. And I think it's good to read it all together.
大家一起念呢会很好。
Because sometimes there are big mountains that cannot be lifted by one or two person. Okay, can you stop? So this is where we will stop this time. As I spoke many times, it's really incredible that you have the tradition of reciting the Vajracchedika Sutra. Instead of reciting many mantras that you don't know how to chant or how to recite or how to visualize. If you are reading the Dhamma Sutra every day, even few stanzas, I think that is very much more worthwhile. And those who has the means to do it, they should write the sutra. After writing it, if you have no place to keep, give it to others. If you have no place to keep, give it to others. I think that's what is stated, Drivadan, Lokvadan, Khyentse, you write, you read, and then you write with your own hand, like hand calligraphy, and then you give it to others as a gift, supposedly very beneficial. Okay.